What's good, people? Agent Jules reporting for duty. Today's Speedpaint is going to be another lovely car on this train of crossovers, this time starring the humble and lovable Irwin from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Hey, Mandy. Fancy meeting you here.
This is my locker.
So it is. So it is.
As far as the crossover is concerned, I'm going to be pulling from Frank Miller's 300 and recreating a crossover piece I made many years ago, which is Irwin, King of Sparta! Yes, this was an idea I originally created for my old Deviant art account over a decade ago. And as you can tell from the hideously shoddy construction, I was much younger back then. So much like I did in my Invader Zim video where I speed painted tack, I'm going to recreate this piece in the modern day and also use it as an excuse to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Whoa-hey! But seriously, I'll also use this recreation as an excuse to talk about Grim Adventures as a show and Irwin as a character and how I wish to draw inspiration from both of them. So foist, let's talk about Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Grim Adventures was a show I really didn't get super into until a few years after it was on air. When it first hit Cartoon Network, it was actually a double feature fiasco called Grim and Evil, where the show basically had two different stories going on, which is Grim Adventures as we know it, and Evil con Carne. It was during Grim and Evil where we saw the pilot episodes of both stories and their first few batches of episodes, and during this time I really didn't pay attention to either of the shows. I didn't hate them, but I didn't love them. At the very least, I liked them enough to keep watching through if they came on. Anyway, at some point, Grim Adventures dropped Evil con Carne and became its own thing, and after a few years of being a solo act, I eventually got more into it. My best guess as to the reason for this delay of interest was probably because that it wasn't until Maxwell Adams, the creator of both shows, focused his creative energy on one idea and made it better, that I finally got interested in it. And I have to admit, Grim Adventures really didn't get weird until it became its own thing, and that weirdness is ultimately what caught my attention. Grim Adventures is a lot like Invader Zim in that it's just such a weird show. You got weird characters, you got weird plots, you got weird jokes. It's just weird. And it's kind of funny that both shows also share Richard Horvitz as a voice actor. But not only are both shows weird, because just being weird can get annoying, they're both surprisingly dark.
What was that for?
Sometimes love hurts, Puddin', and I love you a lot.
But
I couldn't eat another bite. Well, maybe one more bite.
Dark comedy, as I've mentioned many times before, is my favorite kind of comedy, because nothing bites quite like a joke you should be feeling bad about, but can't help but laugh at. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, dark comedy is the most poignant form of social commentary we have in the entertainment industry. Grim Adventures has a lot of other things that I enjoy in a cartoon. It's got memorable characters, it's got great interactions amongst the cast, it's got creative story scenarios, but the one thing I truly wish to glean from the show is its blunt treatment of its dark comedy. It's very touch and go. It's not something that the show leans on too heavily. It just lets these disturbing moments happen and then moves on. I'd love to make a show that treats its dark comedy just like another thing in the world. I find that the moment that you make too much of a stink about something, whether it's comedy or some kind of social commentary or what have you, it loses its punch. It's like trying to explain a joke. You just steal the thunder right from out of it. So, let's go ahead and segue into the good old King Irwin over here. Irwin is one of my favorite characters, but he's not my most favorite, and this is because I don't think I have a most favorite character on this show. I guess if I was pressed into giving an answer for a favorite character, it would be a toss-up between Irwin and Grim. But Grim Adventures is just one of those shows where I just generally like everyone I see. Now, I do have some characters that I like more than others, and if I had to pick a least favorite character, and this may be controversial, I would probably pick Mandy. Why is this case? I hear some of you rabid Mandy fans ask me. Mostly, honestly, it's because of the never smile rule. You see, in the show, it's a common gag that Mandy never smiles. She's never meant to be seen as happy or cheerful in any way, and I understand the reasoning behind the gag. However, because of this, her emotional range is inherently limited. And a character with a limited emotional range can never truly reach their full potential as a full-fledged, true blue, three-dimensional character. That's not to say that Mandy is one-note or one-dimensional, but because of this built-in handicap she has, she, in my opinion, can never express herself to her full capacity and therefore can never be the most interesting character on screen at a given time. It's kind of like the equivalent of the tough character who never shows fear or weakness. You never see their full range of expression in humanity, and therefore they can never be truly interesting to see. But Irwin, on the other hand, doesn't have that handicap and thus is able to express his full range of emotion, and boy does he do that. Irwin is commonly shown as the underdog character or the butt of many jokes. However, he does have his badass moments, particularly involving his confusing as all get out bloodline.
I love you.
And on top of that, he has a general exuberance about him that just makes him fun to watch, no matter if he's on top of the situation or if he's getting his ass kicked by it. If there's one thing I admire about Irwin, and therefore what I wish to glean from him, it has to be his tenacity. No matter what situation he's in, no matter if he's a coward, a joke, a hunk, a hero, or whatever, Irwin always tries. He always puts in effort to better his situation no matter the outcome. And that I can respect more than anything else. And because of that tenacity, it's almost bizarrely fitting for him to be the king of the Spartans in a backwards alternate universe when pigs fly sort of way. And so with that last thought, I think I'll go ahead and wrap up today's video. Well then folks, you know the drill by now. If you like what you see and you wish to see more, go ahead and kick those like, subscribe, and notification buttons down the bottomless pit, as it helps the channel out in the algorithm and lets me know what you guys like. Also, feel free to comment below and let me know what you think, or if you have any requests for future content. And also remember to share the video so that others can be subjugated to this cartoonish nonsense. And as always, if you wish to follow me elsewhere on the Interbutts, go ahead and hit up my social media links in the description box down below. And with all that said, I thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you all stick around, and until next time, a riddly diddly deuces.